Hi everyone and welcome to my channel Hisame Artwork. So in this video we're going to talk about weird expressions in Romanian. So this was requested by my followers and my students, and if there's any video you would like me to make as well, please leave it in the comments below. I will do my best to get to it. So let's get into the expressions that we're going to cover today. So walk the bear is one of the most common ones. You might have heard of it. It usually is on the top whenever there are Romanian expressions discussed on any blog or video. Cut the leaves for dogs is another fun one. I know a lot of you like it. Hit the beans with your boogers. Now this is a rare one and is one of my favorites because it's always very confusing for foreigners and people trying to get into the Romanian language. Another one is selling donuts. Very fun one. You'll get a lot of use out of it, so definitely one to remember. And then another personal favorite that isn't used as much, silent as a pig in the cornfield. So let's see what they are. First one up is walk the bear. Plimba ursul. Plimba ursul. And it basically means get lost, leave, beat it. And it's a pretty polite euphemism sort of way of saying this. There are definitely way ruder ways to say this in Romanian. So you can kind of use this one. But bear in mind, it's not a polite thing to say to people. The way I think this expression might have come up is because bears were used as entertainment and as begging assistants. Bears are fairly intelligent animals. As one American Yellowstone Park ranger said, the reason they cannot develop more smart trash cans is because there's a significant overlap between the smartest bear and the dumbest tourists. So, as you know, some of you, bears were used to entertain people, and they were dressed up and they would dance and do tricks and things like that. This is obviously not done anymore for two major reasons. One, bears are not domesticated, they're just tamed, so they can maul you to death, and that's not something you want to do. You want to happen to you. And secondly, since we joined the European Union, a lot of these bad traditions have been slowly eased out. It is cruelty towards animals to do this, and they were kept in chains and not treated very well. So I'm glad this one now is just in this expression, and you're hardly ever gonna see a dancing bear anymore, fortunately for you. The next one is cut leaves for dogs. A tăia frunză la câini. A tăia frunză la câini. So this one means to be wasteful with your time or pretend to work. So for example, if you don't want to do something and you're pretending to do something else, and it's obvious that you're trying to weasel your way out of it, someone else could say about you that you're cutting leaves for dogs, because obviously dogs don't eat leaves. And especially during communism, it was kind of this thing to pretend like you're working and are busy and productive member of the party. So maybe that's where it came from. I'm not sure. I could not dig up where this originated, but it seems to me like it was long before that. This seems like something that would have been in the feudal system as well, like a farmer that was bound, a peasant, sorry, not a farmer, a peasant that was bound to the land was like kind of trying to pretend to be busy. The next one up, hit the beans with your boogers. I always found this one very funny. And in Romanian it's a da cu muci în fasole. A da cu muci în fasole. And this means to make a very embarrassing mistake. So nobody would purposely sneeze and ruin their dinner, like beans and sausage and bacon or something like that. When they say fasole, it's generally interpreted as bean dish, like chili. And it also ruins it for everybody around, and it's just really gross and upsetting. And it's not something that you will say about yourself. Like when somebody asks you what's wrong, you're not gonna say, oh, I've hit my beans with my boogers. No, that's something that somebody else says about you. So that's kind of the way this phrase is used. Like you're like, oh, that silly donut person, he hit his beans with his boogers, or something like that. Or like it's sort of a catastrophic, embarrassing public fail that warrants this expression being directed at you, usually. So that's how it's used, and I always found it very funny as a child, especially because, you know, boogers are gross and you're a kid and it's like, haha, funny. So next one is selling donuts. It's often used. It basically means that someone's lying or trying to scam people, and the way you say it in Romanian is a vinde gogoș. A vinde gogoș. And it's a pastry that has a lot of air. I mean, it's still good because it's deep fried, but it does not compare to papanaș. And both papanaș and gogoș are translated in English as donuts. I don't really consider it correct to translate papanaș into donuts, so just so you know. The expression selling donuts is with gogoș, not papanaș. Papanaș are so much better. They're like the best deep fried pastry ever on this planet. I've been in a lot of countries. I haven't found something in that type of dish that beats papanaș. So if you ever get to Romania, you should definitely try papanaș and talk to the natives, to the locals, to make sure you get the right ones, the good ones. Not from like a crappy restaurant or something like that. Like, get good ones. It will be a very good experience, I promise you that. It is fatty, it is deep fried, it has jam and sour cream and all the goodness, and the filling, the dough is not just wheat flour. It's really awesome. You should Google it as well to see how it's made. And the last one, silent as a pig in the cornfield. I always found this one really funny, and it has a bit of a narrow use. It's not something that you hear very often, but it's a really fun one. So the way you say it in Romanian is a tăcea ca porcul în păpușoi. A tăcea ca porcul în păpușoi. And in some parts of the country, instead of saying păpușoi, they will say cucuruz. And some will just say porumb. But usually păpușoi means like a cornfield, and it's kind of like the most used. There are many regions in Romania, and they have like different words for different things, especially like farming stuff. You'll hear it differently. Like in some parts of the country, potato is cartof, in others it can be barabule. But for our expression, we're going to use like the most common form. You'll hear this, a tăcea ca porcul în păpușoi. And this means to hide one's wrongdoings, to pretend to be busy, to avoid obligations. And this probably came up from the fact that pigs, like dogs, can be silent when doing something wrong. Like if you ever had a dog steal food and silently eat it, even though it knows it's wrong, like it stole some chocolate or your steak dinner. That's like a good, how should I say, equivalence to being silent while doing something wrong. And the most common context in which you'll hear this used is when politicians have double standards, or when talking about stupid people. Because they'll say, oh, you know, that person did something wrong, but when they do the same wrong thing, suddenly they're very silent about it because they don't want to get caught. And therefore people will say about that person that, oh, you know, they're as silent as a pig in the cornfield when they're doing something wrong. Also when, let's say, they have to do the dishes or do something else, and they're trying to get away. And there could be like pretending to be busy, and then we can say that, oh, they're cutting leaves for dogs. But if they're trying to escape while doing something bad, this expression that as silent as a pig in the cornfield is probably going to be more accurate. But like I said, most commonly you use it, you'll hear it about some politician doing something bad. So yeah, if you found this video enjoyable, helpful, funny, you can help me out by subscribing, liking, and commenting. And let me know what you would like to hear next. As always, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. And I look forward to hearing from you for the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.